Christmas in the 80s, there was nothing quite like it. The holiday season was bursting with colorful decorations, iconic toys, and heartwarming traditions that made every moment feel special. From flipping through catalogs to watching Christmas specials with family, it was a decade full of joy and nostalgia. Let's take a trip back to those magical holidays and relive the traditions that made Christmas in the 80s so unforgettable. Remember those thick, scratchy sweaters with reindeer, snowflakes, or even blinking lights stitched in? The 1980s turned these once-gifted embarrassments into holiday staples. Families would pose for Christmas photos in their bright, festive gear, with Grandma knitting her own take on ugly sweaters. Today they're worn for laughs, but back then, they were worn proudly, itchy fabric and all. The 1980s were a golden era for Christmas wish lists, thanks to iconic toys like Cabbage Patch Kids, He-Man action figures, and Teddy Ruxpin. Kids would spend hours flipping through the Sears Wish Book or the Toys R Us Christmas Dream Book, circling their top picks with big red markers. These catalogs weren't just shopping tools, they were magical windows into every child's dream Christmas morning. Back then, Christmas wasn't complete without cozying up with the family to watch holiday TV specials. Popular shows like Morecambe and Wise and Only Fools and Horses brought laughter and warmth to living rooms across the country. With just one television in the house, the whole family shared the experience, making these broadcasts a cherished holiday tradition. Christmas in the 80s meant vibrant, over-the-top decorations. Foil garlands draped from ceilings, mismatched ornaments hung on trees, and tinsel seemed to find its way onto everything. The bright, sometimes clashing colors were part of the charm. Every house had its own unique and often chaotic holiday vibe, but that made it feel all the more special. In the 1980s, the joy of Christmas wasn't just in the gifts, it was in the unwrapping. Shiny, glittery wrapping paper adorned every present, often sealed with oversized bows and metallic ribbons. Gift bags weren't a thing yet, so every gift came with the excitement of ripping, tearing, and uncovering the surprises within. The sound of crinkling paper was just as much a part of Christmas morning as the smell of pine needles. Christmas dinner in the 80s was nothing short of a feast. Families gathered around tables filled with large golden brown turkeys, glazed hams, and elaborately decorated cakes topped with snowman or reindeer designs. Homemade gingerbread houses and frosted cookies added a personal touch to the festive table. Every dish seemed like a work of art, and the flavors brought everyone back for seconds, if not thirds. Who can forget the unforgettable Christmas soundtracks of the 80s? Songs like Last Christmas by Wham! And Do They Know It's Christmas by Band-Aid didn't just dominate the charts, they became anthems of the season. These songs weren't just played at parties or on the radio, they echoed through shopping malls, homes, and even classrooms, setting the festive mood for everyone. For many families, VHS tapes were the ultimate way to preserve the holiday magic. Recording Christmas specials like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer or Frosty the Snowman straight from TV became a cherished tradition. These tapes were rewound and replayed year after year, creating a treasure trove of festive nostalgia to enjoy with family and friends. The 80s turned holiday shopping into an event. Malls were decked out with towering Christmas trees, shimmering lights, and Santa's grottos, making the experience magical for kids and adults alike. Parents scoured stores to find the hottest toys of the year, and families made a day of it, often ending the trip with hot cocoa or a quick meal in the mall food court. Selection boxes were a quintessential 80s Christmas gift. These pre-packaged sets, often filled with chocolates, candies, or miniature toiletries, were the perfect go-to present for distant relatives or acquaintances. Kids would dive into them immediately, savoring the variety of treats as part of the holiday fun. Sending Christmas cards in the 80s was a deeply ingrained tradition. Families would spend hours picking out the most festive designs, often with glittery scenes of snowy villages, reindeer, or cheerful Santas. The competition to send the most creative card was fierce, and mailboxes overflowed with warm wishes from loved ones near and far. Schools and community centers put on nativity plays every December, and every child had a role, whether it was Mary, Joseph, a shepherd, or even the star itself. Parents packed into tiny auditoriums, cameras in hand, to watch their kids bring the Christmas story to life. These plays were heartwarming and sometimes hilariously off-script, but they brought communities closer together. Fast food got festive in the 80s, and McDonald's led the way with their holiday promotions. Items like Muppet Babies plush toys were huge hits with kids, and, well, parents often found themselves making extra stops at the drive-thru just to complete the set. These small treasures added an extra layer of excitement to the season. Christmas in the 80s was all about togetherness, with extended families gathering under one roof to celebrate. Grandparents, aunts, uncles, and cousins would come together to share meals, exchange gifts, and reminisce about past holidays. These gatherings were noisy, cheerful, and filled with laughter, often stretching late into the evening. Kids played with their new toys while the adults caught up over coffee and dessert. Every 80s home had its own unique collection of holiday decorations. Ceramic light-up Christmas trees, glowing softly in green and red, were a centerpiece in many homes. Porcelain bells and other fragile ornaments held sentimental value, often passed down from generation to generation. While they added to the festive charm, they were strictly don't-touch items for curious kids. Holiday crafts were a staple of Christmas in the 80s. Families came together to create homemade papier-mâché ornaments, string popcorn garlands, or decorate sugar cookies with vibrant icing and sprinkles. These activities were less about perfection and more about spending quality time together, resulting in keepsakes that often reappeared on the tree year after year. Stringing up Christmas lights was a highly anticipated, if slightly frustrating, holiday ritual. These lights were colorful and vibrant, but notoriously temperamental. A single burnt-out bulb could ruin an entire strand, leading to hours of troubleshooting. Despite the hassle, the joy of seeing a fully lit house, or even just the tree, made it all worthwhile. For kids, gift certificates from fast food chains like McDonald's were a treat that added a little extra excitement to the holiday season. Whether tucked into Christmas cards or wrapped in small boxes, these certificates meant extra Happy Meals or treats, turning a practical gift into something special. No 80s Christmas would be complete without the decorative bowl of ribbon candy. These colorful, twisted sweets were more for show than for eating, often sitting untouched on coffee tables throughout the season. Despite their rock-hard texture, they added a nostalgic touch that has become synonymous with vintage Christmas decor. Pop culture in the 80s heavily influenced how families celebrated Christmas. From A Christmas Story to National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, movies became a staple of the season. Television specials and commercials featuring iconic 80s characters further cemented the holiday's connection to the era, creating lasting traditions rooted in entertainment. Looking back, Christmas in the 80s wasn't just about the gifts or the decorations. It was about the memories we made along the way. From the laughter during family gatherings to the simple joy of untangling Christmas lights, it was a time when the holidays felt truly magical. Whether it's the songs, the toys, or the traditions, those moments still warm our hearts and bring smiles to our faces. Thanks for joining us on this trip down memory lane. Don't forget to share your favorite 80s Christmas memories in the comments. Until next time, keep the nostalgia alive and have a very merry holiday season.